Welcome to the Startup Grind.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اهلا وسهلا فيكم جميعا. احنا زي ما جرت العاده حيكون الايفنت بالانجليزي وحنعمل سمريز بالعربي. ولو في اي سؤال بالعربي لقدام اي حدا بحب يساله انا ممكن اترجمه لمارسيلو وهو ممكن يجاوب. So welcome guests, startup ecosystem friends, incubator managers, entrepreneurs and representatives from the private sector, especially Paltal Group Foundation and Jawal and Paltal. Before we start, we are thrilled this time to have Paltal Group Foundation as main sponsor for Startup Grind Gaza. We are very happy that we have them on board. They have been supporting the ecosystem for some time now, and we hope that this will be a big success for us and them as well. طبعا احنا في خلال هذا الاطار اليوم بشرفنا انه نطلق الشراكه والتمويل مع مؤسسه مجموعه الاتصالات الفلسطينيه للتنميه. طبعا مجموعه الاتصالات هي بتدعم قطاع رياده الاعمال فلسطين منذ فتره، ويعني ان شاء الله هذه تكون فاتحه دعم اضافي لقطاع ريادي الاعمال من الشباب والشابات الفلسطينيين. طبعا بهذه المناسبه يعني يسرنا في فريق ستارت اب جرايند ان ندعو المهندس بسام العديني مدير الدائره الفنيه لشركه جوال انه يعني يحكي لنا ولو كلمات بسيطه عن هذه الاتفاقيه وعن دور شركه الاتصالات. اهلا وسهلا فيك.
طبعا مجموعه الاتصالات تبع المشروع ضمن مسؤوليتها الاجتماعيه تجاه المجتمع وتجاه الشباب تحديدا، ونتامل من خلال هذا المشروع اللي راح يستمر مده 12 شهر، راح يتخلوا 12 لقاء، انه يكون اضافه نوعيه لرياديين الاعمال في قطاع غزه باتجاه تطوير اعمالهم، الالتقاء بخبرات سواء محليه او خارجيه تساعدهم على انهم ينجزوا مشاريعهم، لانه في النهايه اي فكره لمشروع اذا لم تنجز على ارض الواقع تتحول لمشروع حقيقي يخلق فرص عمل لصاحب المشروع ولاخرين حوله ويدر ارباح، فهو هذا الهدف النهائي لكل المشاريع اللي تنفذ من خلال ريادي الاعمال. بتمنى لكم التوفيق ان شاء الله، وان شاء الله تكون سنه تتوج بالعديد من المشاريع اللي نفخر فيها بقطاع غزه برغم هذه الظروف الصعبه.
اكيد بنعتز باستمرار شركتنا مع مسرعات الاعمال غزه سكاي جيكس، شريكنا المستمر، وبرضه مشروع مبادرون برضه شريكنا المستمر، ايضا شركه عين ميديا شركه رياديه في مجال الاعلام. الحقيقه يعني كل انجازاتنا حتى الان كانت بشكل واضح بدعم مباشر من هذول الشركاء. احنا ان شاء الله الان حنبدا، مده الفعاليه تقريبا حتكون 45 دقيقه اقل او اكثر. حتبدا بشويه اسئله لمارسيلو، بعدين حيشاركنا من خلالها تجربته الشخصيه وخبرته وبعض النصائح اللي ممكن نوجهها للرياديين، بعدين حننتقل لفقره الاسئله والاجوبه. واحنا بصراحه بنشجع الجميع سواء كانوا رياديين او ناس من الشركات القطاع الخاص او من الحاضنات او المؤسسات العامله في هذا المجال انه يعني تسال عن الشغلات اللي في بالها. معنا يعني وقت كافي اليوم ان شاء الله، ولو ما كفى الاطار يعني ممكن التواصل مع مارسيلو اعتقد عبر السوشيال ميديا وعبر طرق كثير ثانيه. So we'll start now with a personal introduction about yourself and then move to the questions and answers.
All right.
So welcome to Gaza once more. Can you tell us briefly about your background, the places you have worked at and the companies you have started early in your career?
All right. So I have 2 hours.
Take your time.
So, first of all, I'm Palestinian. Oh, really. My great-grandfather come from Bet Sahur. Most of the Palestinians from Chile come from Bet Sahur and Bet Jala. So, Ana Abdul Mesih. My grandmother is Kumsiye, so I'm like all Bet Sahur. شكرا. So I'm really happy of being here. We have been talking about coming to Gaza in the last 3 years or something, and finally made it. I've been like 15 minutes already, just in the car coming directly to the meeting. But thank you so much for coming. Thank you for taking your time. I hope I can help in something. And so I'll give you a little bit of my background. I was born in Santiago de Chile, raised as a Palestinian who was born in another country. That's the way they raise us in Chile. We're lucky to have, to be in Chile. Is a great country. We're very committed to it, and For the same reason, we study there. There's a huge club. I don't know if you know in Chile, Club Palestino. We go every day there, and we have a football club too, which is Palestino. I don't know if you know. Have you seen the T-shirts? But it's. I don't want to get into polemics here, but it's fantastic. So. I'm an agronomical engineer, an agronomist, but first of all, I'm Palestinian, so I'm good at making masari. So whatever I've been doing all my life is doing business. I started a company when I was 17, 18 years old. Not a company, I was doing businesses. Then I started another company, my first real company when I moved to Iceland, to Reykjavik. Then went to Barcelona, came back to Chile, helped my father with the company, then I got married, then moved to Argentina, did business in Argentina, Brazil, but I have been doing businesses with United States, with Europe, China, Korea, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Whoever who wants to pay for what I'm doing, I'm looking for the right business. In the last 7 years, I've been involved in different incubators and accelerators in my country, in Chile. We managed to invest in around 250 companies, 130 in the last 3 years, 1 year ago. I don't know, we did a very good successes of these companies. We have a couple of exits, more than 10% of the companies had more than $1 million in revenue. I don't know, in the meantime, I kept studying. I studied then in Stanford, then I did some classes in Harvard. I mean, I've been looking all over the world for different technologies. What else? I mean, I was the president of the board of the business incubators of my country. And while I was signing some alliances with the ABN, European Business Network in Brussels, since I tell everybody I'm Palestinian, I was talking with this guy and he said, hey, but you know that there's the same thing in Palestine. And I was like, whoa, okay, can you introduce me? He said, yes. We start talking with Hassan Omar, and he invited me to come to Palestine for an Expo Tech. That was 3 years ago, a little bit more. And since that day, I fell in love with this. I mean, the reason why I never came to Palestine before, it was because my grandmother wanted me to get married. So I was like, nothing to do with the conflict. It was my grandmother. Every time I said, I'm going to Palestine, she said, oh, I'll find you a wife. And I was like, no. But now, so I came 3 years ago here, met some entrepreneurs. I saw the quality of what you guys are doing. I saw how tenacious you are. And then, I mean, really good entrepreneurs, but with not so good startups. So I started to talking to them, give them my advice. I came back 1 year later and they have fantastic companies already going. So I said, all right, this is a great business here. I mean, there's good people, they're resilient, they know what they have to do, but they just need some guidance. During this process, I met the people of the PNB, in which Jawal is included, the Palestine for a New Beginning. We talked to the Bank of Palestine, talked to the CCC, we talked with Coca-Cola, we talked with everybody. And we decided all together to create an investment fund for Palestinian only in entrepreneurs. So we raised money all over the world, most of it from Palestine, to invest in you. My job here is pretty simple. I come here as an advisor. I come here to help, to select companies, to mentor companies, and to try to do the network between Palestine and the outside world. Because the only way that I know we can make this Palestine greater is to support the entrepreneurs, to support the young people, to support whoever who wants to make a living out of their dreams, out of their ideals. So that's why I'm here. I'm just helping.
Thank you very much. أعمل ملخص سريعا لقاله مارسيلو. هلا مارسيلو فلسطيني أساسه من بيت سحور. هو مولود في تشيلي. هو يعني بس أذكر إنه في فريق فلسطيني لكرة القدم في تشيلي. هو أساسا يحمل شهادة الهندسة في الأجرونومكس. وعمل في عدد من الدول الأوروبية من خلال حبه للبزنس. بدأ بزنس الأول من 17 سنة، بعدين اشتغل في بعض الحاضنات في تشيلي، أو كان مرتبط في بورد للحاضنات في تشيلي تشرف على تقريبا 250 شركة ناشئة، كثير منها كان فيها قصص نجاح. هو تفاجأ لما سمع إنه في حاضنات أعمال في فلسطين وفي ستارت أبس في فلسطين، فحب يعرف أكثر، فتم دعوته لحضور مؤتمر الإكسبوتيك وأجى على فلسطين، تعرف أكثر على بيئة ريادة الأعمال خلينا نقول في فلسطين. تفاجأ من نوعية عالية لرواد الأعمال، يعني في طموح عالي وفي مهارات إلى حد ما عالية. يعني هو ببساطة بقول إنه لقوا أشخاص يعني بيعرفوا إيش بيعملوا، ولكن يحتاجون بعض التوجيه. فهو هذا يمكن بتخيل إنه هذا يكون دوره، هو جاي كي يكون أدفايزر أو موجه، يحاول يوجه الشركات الناشئة أو الشباب والصبايا كيف ممكن يطوروا هذه الأعمال. في فلسطين حكى مع العديد من المؤسسات والشركات زي PNB كوكاكولا وخلافها لتطوير نوع من محفظة استثمارية للشركات من حول العالم عشان تدعم الشركات الفلسطينية. طبعا هو يعني أجى لفلسطين قبل هيك، وهو first time in Gaza, right?
Yes.
طبعا هذه أول مرة له في غزة، فيعني هذه بالنسبة لنا فرصة إنه نتعرف إنه كيف بنسميه VC أو Venture Capitalist، المستثمر بفكر عقليته وإيش الشركات اللي ممكن يستثمر فيها. So you worked at an incubator called IncubaUC. IncubaUC.
I used to.
Used to. Okay. So it was rated as recognized internationally. Can you tell us why you joined it at the first place and what lessons you've learned through working there?
Okay, so, all right. Is that for me? Awesome. Yeah, I hear the oranges here are great. And the shrimp, and the niece. Looking forward to have a lot of food, by the way.
And the second game.
Yeah, and the maftul is different here, right? Yes, I know.
Also, there's a special kunafa here.
A knafe? Ah, yeah. So there's a contest. I have people in Nablus. They say the knafe is better. I want to try the one here, okay?
You should.
I have to be very diplomatic, though. All right, so 7 years ago, I started to work for an incubator from the Catholic University of Chile. At that time, I had a company that wasn't doing very well. By the way, I didn't mention this. I had 8 companies in my life. One, we had a terrible fail. We went to bankruptcy. We lost everything, the house. Other kind of stuff like the cars, etc. We have to give it away to the bank. In Latin America, when you go bad in a company, you have to pay with your own things, right? It took me some years to come back again, but I've been lucky enough to keep going in the right direction. In my last 2 companies, I made enough money to survive for the rest of my life. The good thing is that during the process, I started working with this incubator. I'm very proud that we helped around 230 companies that time, 131 in 3 years. We took these companies into Silicon Valley. We took these companies into other countries in South America and helped them to do what they needed to do, which was having revenues as soon as possible. When you don't live in Silicon Valley, what you have to think, and I think here's exactly the same, is how can you create companies who can make revenue, who can have profits fast, so they can sustain the business that they have behind and create jobs, and to create sustainable companies over the years. Later on, if you can scale over the region, fantastic, but your first move has to be to have sustainable businesses, all right? 1 year ago, I left the incubator and I joined a venture capital firm, and we're doing pretty well. We invested in 5 companies so far, 2 from abroad and 3 in Chile. Venture capital, it's a long-term business. So we need to work for 3, 4, 10 years before having real good results. In terms of the incubator, our results were pretty simple. We invested in 129 companies in 3 years, invested $8 million in these companies. The average investment was $80,000. These companies were making at least $17 million in revenue. The third year, the whole bunch. 60% of them weren't doing so well, but the other 40 were doing so great that they were even hiring people from the other companies. We created more than 1,000 jobs through these investments, and this is high quality jobs. We can measure how many other jobs were created thanks to these companies who are having revenues in the region. We raised more than $23 million from venture capitals from South America and United States. And I mean, that's it. We have a couple of exits, numbers that I cannot disclose, but good enough to have a business all around. Right now, I'm a general partner. We're 4 partners of a venture capital in Chile. We have $35 million investment. We invested only half. We're still looking for new companies. And well, story and time will tell how good we're doing. But as a machine to do great jobs, startups and accelerators, I mean, for me, it's the best tool ever.
Thank you. So مرة أخرى للترجمة بشكل سريع. IncubaUC كانت حاضنة اشتغل فيها مارسيلو. هي عبارة عن حاضنة جامعية في تشيلي. انضم إليها بعد ما كان عنده بزنس ما نجح بشكل المطلوب. طبعا اشتغلت الشركة مع بعض الشركات الناشئة ودتها للسيليكون فالي في أمريكا عشان تساعدها لخلق أرباح بسرعة وبشكل أفضل. أول درس هو بيحكي من خلال تجربته في هذه الحاضنة إنه الشخص لازم يكون يأمل في صنع بزنس مستدام قابل للاستدامة لفترة طويلة من الزمن. الحاضنة احتضنت 129 شركة برأس مال $80,000 للشركة الواحدة. الشركات في مجملها كانت تصنع $17 مليون في العائد. 40 منهم من 129 كانوا ناجحين. قدروا يحققوا يعني نسبة 1000 وظيفة من خلال هذه الشركات. بعض الشركات صار معها اكزيتس. الاكزيتس هي مخارج للشركات سواء استثمار او سواء بيع بشكل او باخر. وحاليا هو من ضمن بورد الحاضنات في تشيلي. لديهم $35 مليون للاستثمار في شركات صغيرة مختلفة في تشيلي وفي أمريكا اللاتينية. Is it dedicated to Chile or all Latin America?
So in IncubaUC, we used to invest in all kind of companies from all over the world. In fact, our country has a special program called Startup Chile. Startup Chile will invest $40,000 in any company from all over the world, equity free, to come to Chile and stay at least 6 months with us. So we are importing talent. We're giving you a 1-year visa just to be with us. Not our venture capital. This is a Chilean government program in order to import great entrepreneurs into the country. And it's been fantastic. As an incubator, I invested myself in many of these companies. And we did very well. You asked me about the award that we had. Because of the money that we raised, because of the jobs we created, and because of the revenue and the quality of the companies that we created, the UBI index, which is it's for business incubators. From Sweden, they gave us the first award of the best of Latin America and the 6th incubator in the world. That was 2014. I mean, we weren't doing this for prizes or for awards. We were doing this to support entrepreneurship. But when you're doing good things, somebody comes and tells you that you're doing good things, right?
يعني كملخص هو بيقول انه المحفظه الاستثماريه مش فقط تستثمر في الشركات التشيليه وانما ايضا ممكن شركات من حول العالم طبعا لتشجيعها للتحويل الى تشيلي بشكل او باخر. الحاضنه اللي كان يشتغل فيها مارسيلو كأحد 10 مراكز الاولى، المركز السادس على العالم من مؤسسه في هولندا. Now, can you tell us a little bit about how is it to be a venture capitalist? I mean, how do you look at the startups from a different perspective? We'll come to Ibtikar Fund a little bit later on, but to know how the venture capitalist sees startups other than normal people.
That's a tough question. Most of the people look at us like the bad guys because we're giving you money or not giving you money. But the truth is, we're not playing as a loan. We're not playing as banks. We're playing as a co-founder. We're playing as a minority part of your business. What we do is we invest money, but the most important is that we're investing our time, which you cannot take back in your companies working with you. The big difference between being an accelerator, incubator in which you invest in a big group of people, is that as a venture capital doing larger investments, you spend a lot of time working with the teams that you're invested. How do we look at startups? I mean, come on, you're the heroes here. We are supporting you. You are the ones who have to do the great job. The way we look at you is pretty simple. At the early stages, we don't invest in technology. We don't invest in ideas. We're investing in you. I mean, if I invest money in a company that does wrong in time, and two others or one that are doing well, I'll take my money back. I will receive my money back. If I invest 2, 3, 4 hours, 10 hours of my life with you, and you don't take that with respect, I lost that time. So our most precious resource is our time, your time. So for the same reason, when we're looking at companies to invest, we're looking at the entrepreneur. The entrepreneur is 90% of the company. So we like to learn from you. We like to understand why are you so better than us in whatever other things that we're doing. And we like to learn why are you the entrepreneur who is going to be successful. And then we look at the technology, how can it be scalable, etc. This is a really, really hard business. Venture capital investors, I mean, it's really hard. It's not easy. Especially because you'll see the results, as I said before, in 5 years, 6 years. If you're investing as an angel investor, as a venture capital, and you expect results in 1 year, 6 months, whatever, you're losing your money. You have to wait. You have to help. You have to be involved with the entrepreneur. The good venture capitalists, in my humble opinion, are the ones who, take their sleeves, sit down and work with the companies. The ones who just give you the money and then every month are calling you, hey, how is the business going? That is not being a venture capital. A venture capitalist, a real good one, will be involved in the company. He will be another partner, right? And he won't ask you for 50%, 60%, 80% of the company. He will ask you for 10, 15, 25. He doesn't want to be your boss. He wants you to be successful. And he will support you to be successful. And if you are successful, I'm successful. Sounds simple, huh?
So what about the context of the entrepreneur? Like being in Gaza with all that restriction?
So geographic context really doesn't matter. It's all about how you... so English is my second language too. So I'm sorry if sometimes I forget some words. But how you face the company, how you day to day, how you work on it, it really helps you. Being in Gaza, being in Santiago, each one of us will have different complications during the business. Yes, maybe being in Gaza adds 2 or 3 more layers of complexity. But right now, with the internet, I mean, you can handle those. The important thing is that you can learn easily and fast what is your competition doing. For example, entrepreneurs who tell you that they don't have competition, I don't invest. Even doing nothing, even if your clients keep doing what they're doing, that's your competition. Your hardest competition is breaking the status quo of keep doing what you're doing, right? If you can show me, you can prove me that you broke that, even with one invoice, even with 10 downloads, even with whatever, you're telling me there's people willing to try what you guys are doing. So that means a lot. Companies are 90% execution, 10% good ideas. That's it. It's all about sweat. It's all about waking up in the morning, going very late at night, work, and work. I mean, there's luck sometimes, there's timing sometimes, but nobody gets lucky because he woke up later, you know? When you are working, when you're looking for opportunities, you'll find them. And if you're smart enough, you'll get them. And then you make a business out of it. The big difference between investments like we do and any other businessman is like 1 every 10 companies that we invest are going to do very well. And that company is going to pay for the other 9. So that's why it's so hard to be a venture capital, because we have to choose the best companies. I'm very happy, and I can say that I'm very lucky, because 2 out of 5 companies that we have so far in Chile, they're doing fantastic. So that's a good number. And in time, you know, venture capital are like startups. If I show traction, if I show that the companies that I'm investing is giving my investors a good chunk of profit, they will invest again in me. So it's like yourself. You have to show us, you have to prove us that you are good material, that the companies that you're creating and that you as an entrepreneur are the right persons, are the right entrepreneurs in the right business.
ثانك يو مارسيلو. يعني هي عدة بصراحة نقاط أحاول أسردها سريعا. كان السؤال بخصوص كيف بفكر المستثمر فينشر كابيتالست زي مارسيلو. هو بقول لك في البداية هم يعني مش أشخاص أشرار زي ما الناس بتفكر، وإنما هم ناس بدهم يحاولوا يكونوا شركاء لأصحاب الشركات الناشئة. المستثمر بيستثمر وقته وجهده مع الريادي أو الريادية لتطوير البزنس تبعه أو تبعها. في المراحل الأولية ما بيستثمر في الفكرة، وإنما المهم الشخص والدافع وراه والشغل نفسه تبعه أو تبعها. وبضرب مثال إنه لو استثمر مبالغ مالية في الشركة ممكن يعاود يستعيدها، بس لو استثمر وقته وجهده مش راح يرجع تاني. دائما بيحاول يطلع وينصح الريادي شو الأفضل بالنسبة له، شو الأفضل بالنسبة للبزنس، مش شرط تكون كمصلحة مباشرة للمستثمر، هذا هو بتخيل هو المستثمر الصح. برضو بقول مش دائما بتكون البزنسز الخاصة في التكنولوجيا فقط هي المربحة، وإنما في مجالات كتير أخرى. دائما لازم الواحد يطلع على النتائج اللي بحققها أكثر من الشغل اللي بنحط. لازم مهم إنه يكون في نتائج تتحقق. أنا سألته بالنسبة لغزة، يعني بوضع زي غزة والصعوبات الموجودة علينا، فهو بيقول إنه بغض النظر أي مكان موجود في العالم له محدداته وصعوباته وعوامله، فبالتالي مع الإنترنت أنت بتقدر تشتغله. يعني في مجال للتطور، الإنترنت بيساعد كثير، ممكن الواحد يحاول يتواصل مع زبائن ومستثمرين من حول العالم. دائما في منافسة، هذه يمكن كثير من الرياديين عندنا بوقعوا فيها إنه بلاقوش منافسين، لا دائما في منافسين. الواحد بتميز عنهم إذا أثبت اللي بيشتغلوا البزنس تبعه. من تجربته في تشيلي كانوا تقريبا 2 من كل 5 بيستثمروا فيهم بينجحوا، هذه كانت نسبة نجاح عالمية، ولكن النسبة العالمية 9 تفشل و1 بينجح. يعني خلاصة الكلام أعتقد إنه الفكرة دائما هي الأساس، وليست الفكرة الأساس مظبوط، ولكن الشغل نفسه هو 90% من النجاح. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about Ibtikar Fund, if you don't mind. Why did you get interested in Ibtikar Fund in particular, and where do you see it going?
Okay, so the reason why I really got interested in creating a fund, even before we knew the name was going to be Ibtikar, is because we see two great opportunities. Well, many more, but there's two that I like a lot. First, there is a lot of good entrepreneurs in Palestine, and I noticed that 50% of them are unemployed. So it's a great opportunity for you and for me. Second, the Arab market is growing incredibly fast, and there's no countries creating content for it. If you look in internet, less than 2% of the content is in Arabic. Come on, you don't have to pay nothing to Google to be on top of any search in Arabic. It's a great opportunity. So when you see the quality of the entrepreneurs, you know that with some guidance we can create huge companies for the MENA region. It's obvious. And at the same time, I'm helping my dear Palestine, so why not? So Ibtikar was created with the help of the PNB. The lead investors were the Bank of Palestine, Sahi Kuri, Hashim Shawa. They helped us from the beginning. Hashim is from Gaza, so I mean we are really related into helping Palestinians. So far we raised around $10 million. We don't want to compete with incubators or accelerators. So what we're doing is we're helping entrepreneurs to find incubators and accelerators in Palestine, and we're even investing in through them through the companies into the incubators to support and to give them our advice and help. I mean, we're pretty humble here. I'm not telling anybody what they have to do. If I knew which are the companies who are going to be successful or which are the incubators who are going to be successful, I mean, I would be gambling the lottery or something. I'm here because I want to learn. We are here to invest in the best that we can find everywhere and help them to be successful. That's it. It's a lot of work. But I mean, and the maftul, come on, kinafe. All this is a charade. It's all for food.
كان السؤال بخصوص ابتكار فند، للي مش عارفين ابتكار فند هي محفظة استثمارية فلسطينية بتستثمر في الشركات الناشئة مقرها في رام الله. سألته ليش هو انضم أو شارك في تأسيس ابتكار وين هي رايحة، فهو بيقول إنه في فلسطين رياديين بارعين عندهم مهارات. في 50% من الناس عاطين عن عمل، وبقول إنه السوق العربي بينمو بسرعة. مثلا سوق الإنترنت نطلع عليه، في سوق كونتنت عربي واسع جدا ممكن المنافسة فيه. بحكم هذه العوامل، بحكم انه هو حابب يخدم في فلسطين ويساعد، اشترك مع PNB وزاهي خوري كوكا كولا وهاشم الشوا بنك فلسطين، وحطوا محفظة استثمارية تقريبا $10 مليون للاستثمار في الشركات الريادية الفلسطينية، اساسا لمساعدة البزنسز الستارت ابس والحاضنات نفسها انه تستثمر في او تدعم هذه الشركات الناشئة. فهو اساسا هو جاي يمكن لغزة، طبعا هو جاي عندنا عشان ستارت اب جرايند ويلتقي فيكم، بس برضه جاي يتعرف على السوق الفلسطيني ويتعرف على السوق اللي في غزة، الشركات الريادية الموجودة عندنا. Okay. So can you share a little bit with us about some of the investment portfolios that you have done so far, preferably if something via Ibtikar fund that would be preferable, just to give an example of a success story, for example, that you might be interested in investing?
I mean, in terms of success, it takes years, as I said. But we're already investing in 3 companies here in Gaza. Out of, I don't know, Ambar, we are in 11 investments already. Yeah, so we already invested, or we are investing in 11 companies from Palestine. 3 of them are from Gaza. We have Mockup, we have Dumps that has changed the name to Workanizer, and now we're talking with Maktabi. I mean, these are 3 companies out of many, but this is, again, we're going to be investing in the next 4 years. So please contact us. Please contact your incubators, your accelerators. Thank you. I mean, I'd like to thank the Mercy Corp to bringing me here. Rafat again for inviting me here. The Welfare Association was great enough to pay my ticket. I mean, there's so many people trying to bring me back. I cannot say no. And in terms of investment, so far we're looking for early stage companies, pre-Series A. We're doing investment between $40,000 to $250,000. The whole fund is going to be based in doing these early stage investments because there is enough venture capitals in Series A for $1 million, but there's not enough pipeline from the incubators into these venture capitals. And when you're already having revenue, when you already are growing, money will come very easily. It's the first part, which is the most hard, I mean, this is the hardest one. And this is the one where we are good at, so that's it. I mean, we have a great CEO from Ibtikar Fund, Habib Hassan. We have a fantastic COO, Ambar Amle, which is here with me. Contact us. I mean, we're looking for you. That's what we're doing.
برضو سريعا بسأل مارسيلو على بعض الشركات اللي استثمروا فيها في فلسطين، فهو بضرب مثال انه في فلسطين استثمروا في 11 شركة منها 3 في غزة، وهم موجودين يستثمروا في يعني لقدام ل 40 سنة قادمة، فهو يعني بحث الجميع انه يتواصلوا مع ابتكار فند، يفتحوا الموقع تبعهم، حاولوا يتعرفوا على شو شغلهم، تواصلوا معهم بشكل او باخر، قد تكون الفكرة اللي عندكم ممكن يتم دعمها بشكل او باخر. هم في اساسا بدوروا على شغله تسمى الايرلي ستيج او الشركات اللي في المرحله المبكره، بيستثمروا فيها ما يقارب $30,000 اكثر او اقل بناء على الشركه نفسها. هو بيقول يعني بيحاولوا يشتغلوا مع الحاضنات، ما فيش بايب لاين كافي طالع من الحاضنات للاستثمار، فهم بيحاولوا يتعاملوا مع الحاضنات والمسرعات الاعمال في الوصول للشركات اللي ممكن تكون قصص نجاح. Very quickly, how do you see the Palestinian startup scene? In general, I mean, I know that you see the Palestinians as promising, but given all the restrictions and the growth as well in the recent years, do you see it developing towards the technological sector? How do you see the upcoming 3 to 5 years for the startup scene?
Okay, so in terms of, if we were getting technical, I'm seeing there's a lot of PHP developers, for example. I'm missing a lot of Ruby on Rails or Python developers. There's some languages that you really need to learn. I mean, PHP is great, but it's not the one that everybody's coding now. So you really need to find good teachers and start I mean, you can even learn from the internet. So in terms of the quality, I'm surprised. They're really good. I mean, really, really good. I'm I even thought about creating a company to do outsource. I mean, but there are some, so I'm not going to compete. ICT1, I've been talking with I mean, there's good companies, there are good entrepreneurs. This is the kind of companies, by the way, that are going to be creating entrepreneurs. Companies like Jawal, for example, is going to happen. Some of your employees are going to want to have their own companies. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's natural. Everybody at some point will want to have their own companies, and there is good developers in this country. And this is the first time I met so many developers that can talk to other people. Usually developers are like really into their computers. You guys can pitch. That's fantastic. That's like finding a unicorn. So no, Rafa, I'm saying it for real. I like it. In terms of the so there's one thing that I'm missing so far. I don't see too many Palestinian entrepreneurs thinking big. It is changing. I'm really happy about it, but I don't know. The first time I came here, most of you were doing businesses for Gaza, for example, for Jerusalem, for Palestine only. Now you're starting to think in other regions. So you're thinking in Jordan, you're thinking in Dubai, you think, awesome. Now why don't you think about the world? I mean, you can do it right away. Internet is right away. No restrictions, no borders, no checkpoints, nothing. Just do it, man. I mean, it's just, I know it sounds simple, but try it. The only way to know if you're doing a good job or not, it's building something and putting it online, and then learn from your mistakes. The other thing that I think it's a little bit, it's a cultural thing, and it happens in South America either. I mean, the risk of failure is hard. I failed myself in a company. That doesn't mean I am a failure. My company failed. I learned the lesson, and thanks to that, I was successful later, right? It's gonna happen with you. It's natural. So if you're failing, do not think it's the worst thing that can happen. It's going to happen. The question is when. Learn from that and don't make the same mistakes. You guys are tough. I mean, Palestinians, especially people from Gaza, you really are tough. You're resilient. You're willing to go ahead. So my only advice, especially for the people of Gaza that I've noticed they're really tough when negotiating, it's listen. Isma. All right? Listen the other part. Listen to your customers. Learn. Do not try to talk before them. Listen what are they telling you. All right? Ask them, are you willing to share? Are you willing to share what you're living right now with my services, with my technology, with your family, with your friends? I mean, listen to them. I am not the one who has the right answers. It's your customers. They are the ones who are right or wrong. They are the ones who are going to make your businesses successful or not. So that's a small piece of advice. In terms of the situation and everything, all I can say is that you guys have to keep doing it. I mean, this is a very special moment in the world. Technology is giving us, everybody, the skills to do business all around the world. Even if you have no electricity, even if you're having problems, I mean, it depends on you. It's all about work and effort.
بشكل سريع كان السؤال بخصوص السوق الفلسطيني الخاص بالستارت ابس والمتجه. فمارسيلو شوي حكى امور تقنيه شوي، حكى انه بشكل عام السوق الفلسطيني في كثير من المطورين بي اتش بي وما فيش كثير من مطورين لغات زي الروبي وخلافها. حكى انه في يعني مطورين متميزين في جوانب كثير، بيعرفوا يحكوا مع ناس، بيعرفوا يعرضوا الافكار اللي عندهم. بيتساءل هو ليش الشركات الفلسطينيه كثير منها او الستارت ابس بتشتغل بس لفلسطين، يعني ليش ما بتحاول تتوسع للخارج، تحاول تخدم اسواق خارج فلسطين. العالي هو ضرب مثال انه هو كان عنده بزنس فشلت قبل هيك وتعلم من هذا الفشل، فالشخص يعني بيتعلم من الفشل اللي بيمر فيه، بيطور هذا البزنس اللي عنده ما بيغلط فيه ثاني. يعني هو بيضرب مثال انه فلسطينيين مثلا في غزه على سبيل المثال ان عندهم مثابره وتصميم، بس برضه بيقول انه كويس الواحد دائما يسمع للزبائن شو اللي بدهم اياه، يطور المنتج تبعه شيئا فشيئا قبل ما يقدر يوصل للسوق اللي هو حابب يوصل له. Maybe a little bit tricky question. Do you have some sort of a checklist for a startup if you think this startup is investable?
Of course. First, the technology has to belong to the company. The intellectual property, the code, I mean, it has to be codes. I mean, it could be codes, it could be hardware, it could be medicines, whatever. It has to belong to the company. If you paid somebody else to develop something for you, I'm not interested. Why? Because technology is a living animal. It will change every day. Every time your customers ask for something new and they're willing to pay money for it, you will have to do some changes. If you don't have the skills to do it, then I'm not interested. Second, and it's related to the first one, your chief technology officer, your CTO, the guy who created the technology, who understands the best the technology, has to be part of the company, not an employee. He has to be a co-founder. He has to have some shares in the company. And then we get picky. It's not about how good is the entrepreneur. It's about feeling too. It's about how do do we get along? This guy listens. If he doesn't listen, why am I going to invest in him? He's going to do whatever he wants to do, or she. But the third part is very important. Then we get tricky because we're venture capital. We're not just investors. So we want a scalable business. Business can be exported to other regions, to other countries, to other places easily. That doesn't mean they need hundreds of people behind it. That the technology that you created can be exported and be scalable in a short period of time. That's it. If you can create barriers for your competition, even the better. If you can be faster than your competition, the better. But those three are the most important ones. And it's all related in the entrepreneurs again.
تمام. السؤال كان بخصوص هلا بحكم انه مارسيلو مستثمر، فكنت بساله شو التشيك ليست او القائمه اللي بتطلع عليها في الشركات اذا بيحدد بده يستثمر فيها ولا لا. فهو حكى من اهم النقاط كالتالي. النقطه الاولى انه لازم التكنولوجيا تكون ملك للشركه نفسها او للريادي او الرياديه نفسها. لازم الشخص نفسه يكون فاهم هذه التكنولوجيا اللي بيطورها، سواء بنفسه او مع شريك بيطور هذه التكنولوجيا. فهو بيقول لك انه مش راح يستثمروا في شركات بتجيب حدا خارجي يطور لهم برنامج مثلا هم بيشتغلوا عليه بحكم انه البرنامج هذا محور شغلهم وبتركوه. ثاني نقطة انه السي تي او الشخص المسؤول عن التطوير لازم يكون جزء اساسي من الشركة، شريك يعني في المشروع او صاحب الفكرة نفسها. برضه لازم يكون الشخص مستمع جيد، يعني اذا بده يناقش مع بعض التفاصيل ويعطيه مقترحات بده يكون مرن في التغيير تطوير الفكرة بما يناسبها. برضه لازم يكون البزنس يعني قابل للتمدد. هو بيقول كفينتشر كابيتاليست هو دائما بيطلع على الفكره كيف ممكن تتطور لاسواق اخرى تجتذب يعني مستثمرين او زبائن اضافيين بشكل او باخر. فيمكن هذه اهم العوامل في التشيك ليست اللي موجوده عند مارسيلو. Do you have like one or two words of advice? We'll move to the questions now, but closing the discussion, like one or two pieces of advice that you think that are invaluable for entrepreneurs, maybe here in Gaza in particular.
Well, this is a worldwide, you can be wherever and you need to be aware of what's happening surrounding you. Do not think because there is a new startup in Silicon Valley doing whatever that you cannot start that business here. The world is huge. The cultural barriers are big. We think different than you think. And when Americans come to South America and they try to establish some business models, usually it doesn't work because Latinos are different. It's the same with the Arabs. The way we think, the way we behave is different. So if you can find, if you find other people doing something similar, that doesn't mean that you cannot do it. But here's the best advice. Learn from their mistakes. Get into some websites like Crunchbase. Read the newspapers, read the media. Try to learn why they're failing, and if they pivot, if they change their business model, why they did it. So you don't have to face the same mistakes. So if you learn from the mistakes of others, you're going to be faster. And remember, what was the first thing that I told you is the most scarce resource? Time. You have to be faster than them. And I love lean methodology in terms of not being cheap. Lean doesn't mean being cheap. Use your resources the best way you can in the less time. And one of your resources again is time. So with less money, in less time, try to prove if you're right or wrong. Startups are living what was invented in the Arab countries, which is the scientific methodology. You have an hypothesis, then you go run an experiment and you see if this is right or wrong, right? It was in Baghdad, I believe, they were teaching this thousands of years ago. So do that. You have an hypothesis that can be a good business. Try to create the minimum viable product as soon as possible. Try it in the market, in the right market. See if it's working or not. Learn why if it's not working and do it again. And try it again. Do the changes that you have to do until you find the right business models. Sometimes you're gonna make money, but that doesn't mean that's the one that you're looking for. It might pay your debts. Awesome, keep doing it. But iterate all the time. Look for better ones. Do not stay. You have to be like a shark. If you stop swimming, you die. You have to always keep swimming.
طيب يعني ختاما للأسئلة كان السؤال الأخير بخصوص أهم النصائح اللي بوجهها مارسيلو للرياديين بشكل عام. حكى رقم واحد إنه واحد أول خطوة إنه يبدأ، مش عشان في شركة في أمريكا أو في سيليكون فالي شخص يعتبر إنه ما فيش له فرصة وما فيش لها فرصة. لازم الواحد يتعلم من أخطاء غيره، يقرأ الأخبار تبعت المواقع تبعت الشركات الناشئة، شو اللي بتنجح فيه، شو اللي بتفشل فيه، مين الشركات اللي بتغير نمط شغلها، وكيف ممكن يتجنب هذه الأخطاء إنه تقع معه. الوقت مهم كثير، لازم الريادي أو الريادية تكون سريعة جدا إنه يطلع بالمنتج تبعه في أقرب وقت ممكن ويعمل تيست مع السوق. هو بيقترح على شغله اسمها لين ميثودولوجي، مش غلط انه تدوروا عليها على الانترنت للي ما يمرش على لين ميثودولوجي بالهيك. هي ببساطه استخدام الموارد بافضل شكل. من ضمن الموارد الوقت، هو بقول من اهم الشغلات اللي هو بيعتبرها مهمه بالنسبه له، اهم من المال والمصاري، الوقت. وقت مهم جدا. وبرضه بذكر انه اساسا تاريخنا احنا بيحكي كان في بغداد قديما كان عندنا العقليه العلميه، فمش غلط انه احنا نحاول نطبق فيها، يكون عندنا فكره، يكون عندنا نظريه نوعا ما، نحاول نطبق هل بتشتغل هل ما بتشتغلش. بالنهايه هو بقول الواحد يصنع الشغله اللي بنسميها الام في بي او اصغر منتج ممكن، بحيث انه يوصل للسوق بسرعه ويختبر المنتج تبعه، اذا نجح يكمل فيه، اذا ما نجح يقدر يطوره بشكل او باخر. طبعا بهذه النقطه احنا بنسكر الاسئله مع مارسيلو، بنفتح المجال لحضراتكم لو في اي استفسارات. We'll start now with questions and answers if anybody has any questions. So okay.
Salmo Shira of Rom Bantel. I am a system engineer in IT. Okay. First of all, I want to thank you a lot, Marcelo, for your time and for your presentations and information presented for us. And thanks a lot as Palestinian, and we feel that happy you are a Palestinian also. Okay. My question is about the incubators model. We see here that incubators may be small projects in universities, and they seek for donations to start up some businesses. But you say that you have 35 million in your incubator. So what are the incubators model you follow? 35 million. Is this owned by government or by university or others? Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm very thankful of being Palestinian too. So for the incubator, I got $8 million, not 35. 35 is my venture capital firm. Okay, so I ended up my incubator and then I moved into venture capital, to be very explicit. So the $8 million came 100% from the government of Chile. And these were grants for the startups. Our incubator at that time, well, what we do was in giving the grants as if it was private, right? And they will ask you for a small share of the company as increase of capital. What we had at that time was 12 people working with batches for 6 months, helping you creating not your business plans. Nobody used business plan. I never read a business plan. Business canvas, right? You know the business canvas? Okay, yes. So we work with them in determining first what is the real value proposition that you're creating. After that, everything is easy. You will find your distributors, you will find the business, But if the value proposition is low, it's not really good, you're not going anywhere. It's not the same finding a real market pain like, let's say, a cancer cure versus a headache cure. It's not the same having that drug than having an aspirin. It's different markets, different prices. So the first thing you have to do is work with your companies to create value. When you have value created, then you start looking for clients. Different ways of getting it. But in our case, we focus in doing revenues as soon as possible. So we focus in these guys with the idea or with the MVP going into the market, a go-to-market strategy, so they can make money easy and fast, okay? Then it's easier. Then they were out of the incubator and they will keep doing it, but they have enough money to sustain their teams so they can grow. Usually then you introduce them to business angel networks, venture capitals, etc., etc. And by the way, Latin America, really few angel investors. So it's not only here, it's not in the MENA regions. So when people complain and complain, stop complaining, keep looking for the investors. They are there, they're doing real estate, they're doing other stuff. You have to teach them, you have to explain them why you have a great, great company and they should invest. In my venture capital firm, since we had really good results and my other partners are very successful businessmen, they could reach to different corporations, not even people, but corporations who were willing to invest money in our fund in order that we could find the best companies for them. All right? One of our largest investors, it's a company like Paltel, it's Telefónica from Spain. See? Then we convinced our government, again, in Chile, to give us a loan, not to us, not to the companies, to us, for the same amount of money we got from the corporations. So 17 plus 17, well, 17 and a half. Well, it depends on the dollar, by the way. Sometimes we have a 35 million, sometimes we have a 32 million. That's how we do it. But you don't have to be looking for your government to give you the money. You don't have, as an entrepreneur, myself, I was looking all over the places who was willing to invest in me as an entrepreneur so I could find other entrepreneurs better than myself, invest money and make profit out of that. That's how we do it. It's really tough and it's not easy, but that's exactly why I'm here. I did this. I was successful, not huge successful as I don't know. So you have all the people from 500 startups here. I mean, come on. Dave McClure can teach me 10 times more. But I'm learning, I'm humble, and all what I've learned, I want to teach you guys my experiences. What did I did wrong? What did I did right? To any incubator, to any accelerator, to any startup that is here, and we can have time to talk with.
جماعة احنا بس عشان حفظا للوقت الأسئلة اللي هتسأل بالإنجليزي بدنا نتجاوز عن ترجمتها للناس اللي بدهم يسألوا في العربي. كان في
Fawaz Almi, welcome Gaza, and try to try the kunafa al-Arabiya. It's very important. Now I have two little questions for you. Normally in Gaza, most of the entrepreneurs are age 20 to 25, graduates. From your experience, what is the demography and the age stage for other entrepreneurs? The other way around that, recently we have a person 30 years old, one of the Mubadirun. This was exception. This one question about the age of the entrepreneurs. Here in town in Gaza, most of the incubators are either university affiliate or NGOs type. Would you think the private business in incubation will be sustainable and succeed? And if yes, what is the factor for a private incubation to sustain? Private incubation either in-house hosting or even virtual one. Thank you.
Okay. I'll get it. Thank you. Thank you for your questions. So in Silicon Valley, I can give you this so you can understand the big differences. The average age of a successful entrepreneur is 37 years old. It had a company for 8 years before doing an exit. That's the average. If you look at the S&P 500, in 1960, the company's average lifespan was 60 years. Last year was 17 years. So the best 500 companies in the world, they have 17 years in average. And it's not even that, it's less than that. Uber, Airbnb, come on, all these companies are young, so they're destroying the old ones. Our first exit in Chile, the CTO of the company, he had 17 years old. So age has nothing to do with it. Oh yeah, the CEO had 22. So who cares? What we're seeing now is that younger and younger entrepreneurs are failing and starting again. You guys are living with your mothers. You don't need to pay the house yet. You're still, that's the right time to have to be an entrepreneur. The hardest part is not even when you have your first son. It's when he got into school, and then you have to start paying, then you're out. That's really hard. My hardest startups were when I was 37, 36, because I had 3 kids. Oh, by the way, I've learned this. Ana endi benten u walad. All right, so.
Within 3 years.
Yeah. What was it? All right, so only three. Well, but the thing is, age has nothing to do. In fact, we're more than welcome to receive more younger entrepreneurs. About your second question, the third mission of all universities is to transfer knowledge into the society. So having, the revolution of, your constitution is somebody from a university wrote it. Is that a good business? I think it is. It did pay back? I think it did. So it doesn't have to be only with money. It means that the knowledge that's being created in a university has to be transferred into your community, into your people. Universities mostly will help to create new knowledge, new intellectual property that at some point can create a company. It might or not, but it will help anyway. NGOs, when depends on every country, but it's going to happen. If I'm an entrepreneur, forget about if I'm in Gaza, South Africa, Santiago de Chile, Silicon Valley. If I'm an entrepreneur, I had it in my blood. I want to create my company. I will look for somebody to help me. I don't care if it's the government. I don't care if it's NGO. You will look for the tools to make it happen, right? So it's not the fault of the government, of the occupation. It's your fault if you don't find somebody to help you. You have to look for it. The good thing is now the world is changing, and people like myself can travel from Santiago de Chile to Ramallah in 26 hours. My great-grandfather took 3 months to go all the way to South America. So now things are easier, it's faster. You can talk to other people in their network, in LinkedIn, in, Facebook. You're in Facebook, by the way, incredible. So you can find people who can help you. Grab us whatever you can. But the most important thing is the only thing that an entrepreneur has is his company. Remember, don't give away your shares so easy, okay? And look for the right partner. If somebody is asking for 50% of your company, he's not helping you, not at all. You're going to be the employee of that investor. If somebody is asking for 1%, you're in big trouble too. Because if you raise too much money for a low shares of your company, there's no second round. Because the last investor is gonna get downgrade, right? And investors, we don't like to see other investors losing money. Try to find the right fit for you, okay? I'm not saying if it's 5, if it's 25, depends on you, but try to find a deal that you feel it's okay with you. Usually, so that's another thing. Companies who are being very successful in general, at least in South America, they receive between 3 to 5 rounds of investment. Each round usually is between 5 to 30%. So as an entrepreneur, don't get scared if in the 4th or 3rd round you have 30 or 40% of your company. You still are the largest shareholder of the company. You are usually the chairman of the board of directors. So it's still being your company. But you're sitting in a table with very smart people who is helping you to be successful. The most important thing for an entrepreneur, while if you're raising capital, doesn't matter if it's a university, doesn't matter if it's an NGO, it's who is the guy who is going to sit with you in the next 5 years, every month, every week, to help you.
تمام جماعة، احنا عشان نسرع شوي حابين الرياديين والرياديات يسألوا لو في شيء. تفضل.
Mr. Halak, Guadrum Business Development Officer. I have one question about you. You are talking about to think big and just for not just for Gaza or Palestine and think globally.
Yeah.
The problem is that can the entrepreneur think globally without visit these countries or without contacting directly with the people outside? This is what the main problem here in Gaza is. We can't travel easily, so we can't meet people and we can't meet other countries and the cultures. So can we make a business for global without traveling and contacting directly with the customers outside?
Thank you. So the answer is yes. We're investing in 3 companies. None of them are for Palestine only. I mean, Mockup is a platform who helps designers to connect with their clients, and in an easy way. It doesn't matter where you are in wherever in the world. If you speak the same language, you can, in an easy way, in one platform, you can help the designers to get their clients as fast as possible the products that they want. Organizer is an online platform that helps you to shorten your links, upload your files, to do. It has like 3 or 4 different tools for you to make your life easier. You can share it very easily through Facebook, email, Twitter, whatever. And Maktabi, I don't know if you guys are here. I think I saw you. They are offering office spaces all over the MENA region for whoever who wants to rent. I mean, yes, it's hard to travel, but you can have a phone number. You can hire people outside of the country. I mean, I guess everybody here knows somebody out of the country. So that's the way it is. It's the same in Chile. I know we have different restrictions, but believe me, I live in the bottom of the world. My country is the southest country in the world. Every travel that I have is at least $2,000 to $3,000. So we have other restrictions. You have to be smart. You have to look. And there is many entrepreneurs, believe me. I wish there are more, and that's what I'm asking. Think big.
تمام. ناخذ سؤال أخير يمكن عشان الوقت.
There was a question
يزيد لو
from the lady there. I would like to listen to some women too asking questions. Okay.
My name is Samir.
Hi Samir.
I met you for 4 months in Get the Ring.
Yeah, good. I remember you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I went with the Gaza Sky Geeks team to support our friend Mustafa Lahdour Mockup. My question is, I don't have a question. What is the secret behind your success? I mean, if I want to be successful person, successful entrepreneur, what I should do. That's it.
No.
Thank you.
That's a tough one, man.
So we'll take another question as well.
Sure,
and
sure.
Then answer.
Hi, my name is Ghadira Shaban and I have a startup called Brainboard. It's an application for the blind and visually impaired people. My question is, you said that VCs are interested in sustainable business. And you also said that you made lots of exits in the startups that you worked with. So what if the startup said from the first time you met that they have a long-term goal to make an exit?
Okay. All right. So may I answer her first? Okay, Nadia. So usually when a incubator invests in you, same as an angel investor, they are looking for exits between of their shares, not selling your company, of their shares between the 3rd and the 5th year. Okay? Why? Because what you're looking for is to get returns to keep investing in early stage companies. Early stage companies usually grow very fast. So the value of your company goes higher in less time. Venture capitals, we're looking for exits in 10 years. So if you have an exit in the year 6 or 7, I'm more than happy, believe me. What we want, our business is to have good returns in less than 10 years, nothing else. So we will wait. In one of our companies in the venture capital firm, we already have an offer to buy our shares to do an exit. And we said no, because we believe the company is worth more money. So we keep investing and we keep investing in order for that company to keep growing. Okay? The tricky part is, again, 1 out of 10 is going to be very successful. So if you, let's say I invest $5 million in 100 companies. If I haven't get at least $5 million back, my investors are going to be very mad with me, right? It is not just that. The longer the period, then you have the interest rate that you have to pay back. And my investors are not giving me money to give them the money with the interest rate back. They're waiting for 2, 3, 10 times what I invested. They invested in me. So that's the tricky part. That's the hard part. To answer your question, Samir, that's a really tough question. Stand up again and do the same mistake is dumb. So stand up again, think about it, stand up again and try another way. That's, for me, the magic formula. And sometimes, you know what? Quitting a company, it's a good answer too. Yeah, I had companies that I was losing my time. They were making money, they were good enough, but they were not the great company that I wanted to be. So I closed the company, started another one. It's all about, it's here. But you need somebody at your side, man. Yeah. If you come home and they say, it's too late and the babies, you're done. There you go. There you go. But you need, solo entrepreneurship is really hard. And here's another stuff. Thank you for reminding me. Your partners, your co-founders are everything, man. If they're not good, your company is not going anywhere. They have to be as good as you. I always try to look for partners that are better than me. But at some point, I'm good enough to add value to this conversation. If we're two partners and the both of are good at the same thing, you're not adding value, man.
Thank you very much, Marcelo, for your time.
You're welcome.
I think this concludes our great event. جماعة شكرا كثير لكم على حضوركم اليوم. احنا نعتذر عن عدم قبول أسئلة أكثر عشان الوقت تأخر شوي. طبعا مرة أخرى قبل ما نخلص الفعالية أنا بحب أشكر مؤسسة مجموعة الاتصالات الفلسطينية للتنمية اللي دعمتنا. برضو كثير بحب أوجه شكر خاص للفريق الرائع في فريق ستارت اب جرايند، يزيد الناظر، سعيد حسن، يوسف الحلاق، وبرضو بنوجه شكر لميتي مراز على غلبتها. غلبناها خلال الفترة الماضية. أنا بدي أدعو صديقي يزيد يقدم هدية صغيرة, small gift from Startup Grind for Marcelo. Very small gift is basically.
Fantastic, thank you so much.
لحظة